with Dark Diaries. I'm your moderator today, Danielle Wright, and I'm joined by Alyssa Trevino, Charmaine Rivara, and Jocelyn Nettabon. Today we'll be going over a true crime podcast, and we'll start off with Alyssa on the Mica Miller case.
Hi guys. Mica Miller was a South Carolina pastor's wife. Her husband's name was JP, or John Paul Miller. He pastored Solid Rock Church. Her and her husband were married for 7 years, which, I mean, it isn't that long, but she was his second wife, so, you know, it's kind of interesting, right? They were actually in the midst of a divorce when she was found with a gunshot wound to her head. She was found in her car by a kayaker alone in a North Carolina state park, Lumber River, I believe. The following morning, he actually announced it to the congregation. He announced it to the congregation, and he actually played it off very well, which made me a little suspicious of him. Like, why are you totally okay with this? He was like laughing, smiling, making jokes, and it didn't seem like he had just lost someone that he loved. Sorry guys. It only got worse because her sister Sierra actually came out with a few statements saying that her and her sister had quite a few interactions where she spoke negatively of JP, saying that if she was found with a gunshot wound to her head, it actually was JP. He did it. And another one was that she was actually scared that she wouldn't make it to the end of her divorce till it was finalized. She was scared that she was actually going to be killed, which I thought was, once again, I'm like, everything's adding up to make JP very suspicious.
Yeah.
Her family actually found that he was toxic in many different ways. He was emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, like the whole 9 yards. They thought this because not only was she drawing away from them, like, you know, that's kind of like one of the biggest signs when you draw away from loved ones in abusive relationships. That is a huge red flag. And this was also supported by some emails that were forwarded to her brother, Nathaniel. And in them was an apology from JP. He was admitting to slashing her tires or putting razor blades in the tires 2 different times in a month. And he actually put a tracking device in her car too, which it's like, what? Where is she going that you need to know? Like, a tracking device? That was kind of far-fetched.
Yeah.
Along with this, her social media presence was very cryptic. She would post about, like, advocating for abusive relationships and people in them, like noting how it is very difficult to stay in them, and people don't really understand unless you're in it, which is true. I understand that. But she, more recently, closer to her death, she posted saying that she was alive and well, which I thought was interesting. Like, why would you start that off like, hey guys, I'm alive and well?
Yeah.
And she also was saying that, like, thank you to her family and her few friends that she had for praying for her, because she's been going through a lot for the past few days. And she said weeks, months, and then she overall corrected herself and said years, which I was like, years? What recently have you been in that's like a year relationship? You know, it's like her marriage. It's the only thing. She doesn't have any kids, so
Yeah.
just very, very weird. I also thought it was interesting because, you know, as news circulates and people are starting to dig into this case, there have been clips that have been released from the sermons that he's preached, and he would kind of make like an object or like just kind of like put her on the spot with mental like health issues that she's had in the past, like saying that she, you know, would have anxiety and she's being over dramatic, like to the whole church. Like, why would you say that about your wife? Like, that's supposed to be your like teammate, someone that you're like working through life with. It always rubbed me the wrong way whenever I saw those clips. I'm like, what's going on with that? It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
He would also not let her family see, it's kind of graphic, but he wouldn't let her family see the dead body. Like, they were not allowed to see her. Yeah, they couldn't see her at all.
What?
And he would only allow them to be, like, I guess in the room with her, but that sounds kind of weird. But he kind of forcibly made the family choose to agree to a cremation so that they couldn't see her. Which I'm like, what? Like, why is that so, like, that's, for me personally, I feel like that's such a big part of, like, saying goodbye to loved ones. Like, seeing them and be like, okay, like, I know that they're resting. Like, it seems very, like...
But it was just her family, right?
Not, like, open to the public. It was just her family. Yeah, like, obviously...
But it was confirmed her?
Yes. Yeah. That's what the police reports say. I mean, you can only see so much because she was found in a river. Like, or, like, a body of water. So, you know, over time, your features start to change. Yeah. It's not, like... foolproof, really. I mean, DNA, you know, guys, like, there's always like pros and cons. But so at this point, like, for me, I found that JP was very suspicious. He totally just, like, has all the right markings to lead to, like, oh, it's his fault. He totally did it. He's lying. It wasn't self-induced. It was not her fault. But actually, security footage came out from a sports event, I guess. I don't know if it was like golf or something, but it was like pictures and video footage of him with another woman the same day that her body was found, and the day before. So like he was not even near her, he wasn't with her. He was in South Carolina actually at this sporting event. But come to find out, this same lady has been rumored to be his side chick, or like his lover. Yes, his mistress. What? Even though like their divorce wasn't final, like he was hanging out with her. Just super weird. Like at that point, just like show some respect. Like at least wait until you're divorced to like hang out with other women in public and like kind of show them off. I just thought that was like, that's what are weird. You doing? Like he just seems very narcissistic to me. Like, but that's my opinion. I wouldn't officially say that, you know, like whatever. So yeah, like that kind of was his alibi, you know, like he didn't have to say anything really besides, oh, I just got the call, I wasn't there, you know, and then this came out and it's like, oh, I guess that supports it. But more recently this weekend, I found that there was more information coming out about where she was. Like they actually provided timestamps and like more security footage from her Ring camera at the house, a Dick's Sporting Goods where she bought the gun that was at the park that she supposedly committed with, and then at a gas station, like grabbing snacks and then getting gas. So I just thought it was interesting because even in that, people were saying, and this is like the theories, they're saying that they don't know if it was her because apparently JP's ex-wife looks a lot like her. They look very alike. And so there was like differences in the footage of like, okay, Mica left the house with a jacket on, with her hair in a braid, and you could see that she has a tattoo on her hand. In the gas station clip, which was closer to the state park, she actually had like no jacket on, her hair was in a bun, and she didn't have a hand tattoo. So she just looked like totally different. And when the person looked at the camera, because I don't know how that even works, like whatever, but she didn't look like Mica. But people are saying that it could just be AI, people are making light of it. So I don't know. There's like, officially they say that yes, she has passed away, it was self-induced. But personally, like, I don't know. There's like still some like confusion on my end. Like, was that actually
she found in a river if she did it herself?
Yes,
I agree.
I don't know. Like, there's two different things saying like, oh, she was in her car, and then there was one saying that she was found in a river. I'm like, I don't know how that would. I don't know. It's just very interesting. But to top it all off, like kind of the icing on the cake, I guess it's called Robeson County. That police department has been known to be very corrupt. So I'm like wondering like, like are they just like putting this information out there? Obviously we don't know because all these small details are still being like, you know, hashed out because it is like present day. But I don't know. I just thought that was so interesting. I mean, I know it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think? What were your initial thoughts?
It sounds like a cover-up to me.
Yeah.
When you said about the girl, like, they look similar, I was like, that sounds suspicious to me. Like,
I think so
Setup.
too. I think
Yeah.
so too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think especially her coming out with videos saying like, "Oh, I'm okay."
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
sounds like a ransom, right?
Yeah, it seemed like she was almost
I'm
prepared.
alive and well.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
like she was like just giving somebody like a peace offering, like, okay, fine, I'll post it, and then behind the scenes, who knows what's going on.
I know.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a hint that she needs help, but it's just like,
Yeah.
like her close family knew that she was like
Yeah,
in trouble and stuff, but it's just like,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
wouldn't they think
interesting.
it's suspicious? I would have like checked up on her.
Yeah, or at least like hid her away or something.
I know.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
even ended up like having 2 different like services. JP had planned it like way ahead of time. Like when he made the announcement, he already had the date and time planned out for the funeral.
That's
The next
yeah,
day.
I seen a little
The next
clip
day.
and he was like, "I'm gonna basically
Yes.
tell you guys something.
Yes.
Don't talk about the situation, and after I'm done, just leave the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Don't
saw
talk about it
that.
until you're out."
Yeah,
And then he
so-
said that, yeah, his wife passed, and
Mhm.
and he had to mention that everybody knew she was mentally ill and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little suspicious.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
as a pastor, wouldn't you want like prayers?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I, like. That's what I want
Support,
the most,
think.
right?
Yeah.
Support.
Mhm.
But it's just like, as a
And it
husband,
was so easy for him. Like it just came right out of his
Yeah.
mouth. There's no stutters or anything.
I know it's like he rehearsed it before
Yeah.
saying it. Right?
Yeah, it's so
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's
for
it.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
bugs me because I'm like,
I know.
I
And
want
like
to know.
he wasn't acting any different after either. Like
Yeah.
when he was saying it, he's like making jokes and laughing. Like you're
Yeah.
obviously not upset about this. It's just
I know.
weird.
Like, I understand there's different ways to cope or like mourn someone's death, but
Mhm.
like that, I've
Not
never
like
seen that
that.
before.
I know,
Like,
not
at least
right
when they're
after.
not like right in the head, like
Right?
you know, somebody has to be very narcissistic and
right.
And it
Not
was their
caring about that
church.
person.
You would want to be there for your community. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just tell
Right.
them after I say this, leave, and then
yes, and
Yeah.
don't
you
say
can talk
anything.
about it. Don't say anything in the
Yeah.
church, but then when you leave, you guys can all talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so suspicious. I don't even know what to say or how to feel, but I feel bad for Micah.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
because didn't he have like, that was his second marriage, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And didn't the first wife go through something like that too?
Yeah. She came out with
Mm-hmm.
a post saying that like she had similar experiences, but Micah had it more like up front. Like it was more on display.
Do you
Yeah.
think
Oh my
that
gosh.
the ex-wife and him were like working together? Because you said that the like surveillance cameras showed that this who didn't have a tattoo. Do
Yeah.
you think that was the ex-wife and like she
That's
was
what I was
working
thinking, too.
with the ex-husband
Mhm.
to kind of like cover up or?
I agree. I feel like
I feel like
would do
yeah,
that.
co-conspirators.
But then
or something.
again,
I
it
don't
was like
know.
it's a time frame. So she was in this
Yeah.
store, and then there was a whole other lady at this store.
Yeah. But I think I
Yeah.
feel like also there's a possibility that they were just 2 different women doing different things.
Yeah, that's how.
That
Like she
too.
could have just gone to the gas
That's
station and
so
get
true.
gas, snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they want to like say that pass her off, like, oh, that's good enough, that's good enough.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
But isn't it the same car? Don't they drive the same car?
I didn't see the actual footage, but I mean the timestamps.
I'm
But
not
I did
sure.
think it was interesting. I was like, how did they like? There has to be a certain amount of like checks that you have to go through. Like, okay, that's the same license plate, so that does bring up a good point. Like,
Right.
was she in the car too? Like the ex-wife and the.
Or
Yeah.
maybe
I
the
don't know.
body, they already killed her.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh,
Or maybe I'm just overthinking.
I
Maybe I'm just overthinking. Guys,
hope
wait. Maybe they're
Grace?
overthinking. Like they're just planning it, and they're like, okay,
Yeah,
like
maybe.
blah
But he
blah
has
blah.
another mistress, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
true.
so what was she doing going into Dick's Sporting Goods and buying a gun?
I don't know.
For real. Maybe
Like,
to
well,
defend herself.
I don't know.
Maybe
She was.
not.
Well,
Defense.
okay. Also, this is another possibility. The statement that she told her sister, like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it through till the divorce." It could have been like her talking about herself, like her maybe it really was her
Mentally.
own mental health. Like, I can't handle it, you know.
Yeah.
So like, although that is unfortunate, that definitely could still be a possibility that she was already planning to do that.
And
But
it
it
was
doesn't
just
make it
like-
any better, you know,
Yeah.
because it was like ultimately her significant other that was pushing her to that point.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it could
Interesting.
make sense that, you know, it was her own self doing, and then because they were going through a divorce, obviously, like, you don't lose all your feelings for somebody, but you could lose a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe that's, I'm not advocating for him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, he could be feeling like that and able to say stuff so easily because of how their relationship was
Yeah.
closer to the end. So
Maybe. Yeah.
Interesting.
it is still an open case, right?
I think so.
They're
I
still
mean,
working on
he's.
it, right?
I think he's still under investigation because he's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real, he is.
Yeah,
bit
they had
too.
to make him step down
For sure. What?
because he's
Yeah.
under investigation.
Yeah.
You know, that's you can't
So you
have somebody
can't-
doing that
Yeah.
at all.
It's just so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Mica Miller case with Alyssa. We'll be right back after this commercial break and we'll jump right into Charmaine with the mother-daughter case.
The exponential growth from the program from my first year to my third year now, that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me excited and just like fulfills me as a person.
It's so impressive, and we every time we walk in here, you guys are doing something different. It's great. It's great.
Nothing but opportunities here, and we have sports to cover, we have the equipment.
Because the more ambitious you are, the more opportunities you'll have.
On-the-job training is huge.
Get the hands-on experience.
When someone asks who can do it, you know, you can raise your hand and say, I can do it, so.
Joining the class was the best decision I ever made.
Stand by, we're going to go to cut one. And cut one.
Cross court to Audrey Jones. Audrey for three. It is good! With 1.3 seconds left on the game clock. Audrey Jones with one of the biggest shots.
The sky's the limit, really, with what we can do here.
College just got affordable. Up to 100% of enrollment fees can be reimbursed for first-time college students taking full-time classes. At Solano Community College, we are taking full advantage of this to further your future. With certificate and degree programs in industrial technology, aeronautics, biotechnology, and many others, Solano Community College is a staple for success. For more information, please contact the Financial Aid Office at 707-864-7000.
Okay, welcome back to the Dark Diaries, and we'll jump right in with Charmaine with the mother-daughter case.
So, according to the Daily Mail article, Ansreen Bukhari, age 46, and daughter Mehik Bukhari, age 24, were jailed for plotting to kill Saqib Hussain after blackmailed her and threatened to expose their 3-year affair to their son and husband. In February 2022, Mr. Hussain, accompanied by his friend Mr. Ajazuddin, was lured to a parking lot, and the mother and daughter were giving back the 3,000 euros he used during the affair, their dates. So,
A lot of money.
I know, right? During the interaction, Mr. Hussain and Mr. Ajazuddin were ambushed and harassed and chased by 2 cars containing 8 people, including the mother and daughter. And Mr. Hussain called the police just before he died, reporting that they were being blocked in and slammed by attackers wearing ski masks who were following them minutes before crashing into a tree. In the recording of the phone call played during the trial, he said, "They're trying to ram us off the road. Please, I'm begging you, I'm gonna die." Right before that, there was a scream, and it cut off to the sound of the car crashing due to the impact. In the Sky News article, it stated the mother and daughter both denied 2 counts of murder and manslaughter. They were found guilty of double murder following a 3-month trial at Lancaster Crown Court in the August of 2022. Yeah, so that was pretty intense because they were also TikTok influencers, and some people kind of knew about the affair, and they were saying, like, the daughter was like promoting or like telling them like, oh, you should jump him, do this and that, kind of like rob him. He's like, he's tormenting my family. I was just like, girl, you're hiding this to save your mother's family, like the husband and the father. Like, I don't get that, honestly. It just seems so unfair to me. Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts?
I don't know. I feel bad for that guy.
I
Right?
feel bad, but like, I need more like a
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
What
So
made them-
Led up to it.
Yeah.
they basically met off, like, I guess through social media, and they met when he was 18, and they had that affair for like 3 years, and then the father came out saying like, oh, blah blah blah, like, you kind of like ruined my son, like, he's so innocent, blah blah blah. But it's just like, it takes two. I'm not gonna lie.
How
For an
old was
affair,
she?
it takes two. She's 48. 48.
When they met? When they met
No,
or when
46 minus 3, 43. 43. They were 43. She was 43 when they met.
old though.
Girl,
like,
yeah.
an 18-year-old.
And on top of that, the daughter is older than the guy he's having an affair with.
Really?
Yeah. She was 21 while he was 18.
Okay.
Oh.
Like,
Wow.
that's weird. You couldn't
That
find
makes me
someone
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Weird.
You
Yeah,
depends on
acting
your own
like
age.
that.
for real, at your grown age. Like, they are very beautiful women. They live like a wealthy lifestyle, but I'm just like, girl,
Yeah.
There
you
has
don't
to
have
be
to do all
someone.
that. Like,
It's kind of a red flag too. Like, you can't find anyone your own age.
no,
to
I know,
date.
right?
Why are you
Yeah.
going after this child? I mean, compared to her, it's a child.
It's a child,
but
yeah.
still.
No, it
It's still a
really
teen,
is.
so-
Yeah, literally.
She's like, how much is the age difference? Like 30? Ooh, 30
Yeah.
years?
It's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
I know, like, I'm just in shock. And then they said like they were never involved with everything that happened. I was like, if there's so much evidence, there's TikToks of her saying like, jump him, do this and that to him. Like, when you see him, like, just
She made
harass
TikToks
him.
about saying like to jump him.
What happened?
She made TikToks about saying
Yeah,
to jump him.
kind of
They were
like,
a TikTok couple, right? Or was it the mother and daughter?
it was
that
the
had
mother and
TikTok?
daughter who were like famous on TikTok,
okay.
while he was just like a regular guy with money.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
makes sense.
it's just insane.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a
That's
plot for
crazy.
the money?
What happened?
So do you think it was a plot for the money? Or
I
just to
I think
back up
so.
the mom?
I think so. Cause just like, I think if 3,000 euros is a lot, I believe. I don't know.
It's
I don't
more
know
than
how much that is
ours.
in-
It's
Is
like
it?
€1 is like $1.75 for us.
Oh.
So that's like a lot
Damn.
more.
Yeah, for
the,
sure.
the cents add up quickly.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel like it
Like,
was all done for no reason. They're both
Yeah.
like life
Yeah.
sentence in prison.
I know. I guess he wanted his money back, so then he threatened to expose their videos and like
Oh.
He was
expose their
exploiting.
affair.
Oh, the mother
Yeah.
and kid.
Blackmailing.
Yes. I was just like,
Oh.
oh, that's sick.
That is gross.
I don't know.
The kid was saying that to the old lady.
Yes. The kid.
They're kids. They're kids.
I know. I feel so bad for the friend who was riding with him because he was just saying, I need a ride to this place, you know, and he was just being a good friend. He was innocent. He didn't know what was going on. And then he had to go through that.
Just caught in the mix.
I know. It's just so sad. I don't even know what to say, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
They were better off
Without
Just
him.
Yeah.
letting him do what he was gonna do.
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
Yeah.
If they let him show the videos or leak whatever, he would have gotten in trouble.
Yeah.
yeah, for
Her
sure.
as well, like the mom,
A little bit.
but he's 18.
Yeah.
If it was
Yeah.
anything before, then she can get in trouble. But I think he would be the one getting in trouble.
Yeah, because it's blackmail.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
but for her,
Yeah.
it's probably just like public shame. her
Yeah,
husband
because
didn't
she's
know.
famous. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole story's out there.
And
for
her
the whole world to
children,
know.
like that. I think.
Besides the
more so.
daughter, I'm just like, how is your daughter like covering this up for you? That is just, you should feel ashamed.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she had a
Yeah.
cut in
I
it.
think
Maybe
it was,
she was.
yeah,
like,
just for the money then. If
Yeah.
they had no feelings towards that.
Girl, what?
Yeah. I don't know. That's so
know.
interesting.
Yeah.
It just. It's like there must be something else that's going on.
For real. She's so down bad for money. You guys are already rich off like TikTok. Like, it's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
And you're in prison for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you
No,
get.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was very much deserved, in my opinion. Sorry. Not to
yeah.
him, but
No,
like
that
to
makes
the
sense.
mother and daughter.
Yeah, they
It's
kind of
like,
asked for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Charmaine, for the mother-daughter case. We'll be right back after this, and we'll go right into Jocelyn with the Zodiac Killer.
College just got affordable. Up to 100% of enrollment fees can be reimbursed for first-time college students taking full-time classes. At Solano Community College, we are taking full advantage of this to further your future. With certificate and degree programs in industrial technology, aeronautics, biotechnology, and many others, Solano Community College is a staple for success. For more information, please contact the Financial Aid Office at 707-864-7000.
Welcome back to the Dark Diaries. We're gonna jump right in with Jocelyn with the Zodiac Killer.
Okay, so according to USA Today, the Zodiac Killer is a framed serial murderer whose crimes haunt like the northern coast of California from in the 1960s, like the late 1960s. He's well known for cryptic messages that he sent to news media. He was taunting law enforcement and reporters with ciphers and graphic descriptions of his crimes. What's weird is that he claimed to have killed like 37 people, but there was only 5 that were connected to the Zodiac Killer. And he was like targeting couples. So the first couple that he found, his first attack was a couple on a date, and he shot and killed them. And those people were David Arthur Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen. And then the other confirmed victims, I think they were mostly couples. They said that 2 males had survived his attacks. But the other people were Cecilia Ann Shepard, Paul Lee Stein, and Darlene Elizabeth Barron. And yeah, so he killed that couple with a .22 semi-auto pistol. But then there was also sayings that he stabbed his other victims as well. So stabbing and shooting was his thing. What's crazy is that all this happened like where we live. So Benicia, Vallejo, Napa County, San Francisco. And what's weird is that, and crazy, the cipher that he made was made up of 340 words, and it was all like coded with jumbled letters, numbers, symbols, and it took this one coder. He finally figured it out after 51 years in 2019, and it supposedly read, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me." What? So yeah, he did say that he killed 37 people.
Yeah.
But there was only 5. And the Zodiac Killer was never found. But there was a couple of suspects, but I think the main one was Arthur Lee Allen. I think I said that right. He was a suspect based on evidence. He had like the same typewriter that the Zodiac Killer had to make his letters and stuff. And also Arthur Allen, he was in the U.S. Navy, and he was a primary school teacher with like allegations of sexual conduct. So you wouldn't put it past him to do such crimes. You know, he's already doing weird stuff. Obviously, he's mentally ill. But yeah. So what do you guys think about that?
Sounds crazy.
I hate that it happened so close to us.
Right? Yeah.
It's so scary.
My mom used to tell me, like, when we would go to Lake Braganza, she used to be like, "You guys gotta be careful, the Zodiac Killer is out there," stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because he's never been found. Like, there's nobody that's been like, "Oh, this is him. We caught him." So, like, you know, sometimes you still hear of people like that doing crimes way later, even though they're super old.
Yeah.
It's like we don't even know who it is, so we don't know if he's dead.
So it is kind of
like
1968 and 9, I believe. So I mean, he could be dead, but there could be another one.
Right. Yeah. People can pretend to, or like follow his footsteps.
Like copycat guys.
Right.
They do.
Yeah.
Try to
What
copy
do you guys
him.
think about him like targeting couples and stuff like that?
He's bored. He needs like, I don't know, someone to love or someone. Like you're so like bored. Like you gotta
maybe
target
he's
couples.
jealous.
He's jealous
Yeah,
for
that's what I
sure.
was
Like
thinking.
what?
He's like, I can't find anybody, so this is the life I have to
Everyone
resort
else.
to. Yeah.
I know. And that was his first killing, right? It was a couple. And then after that, it was another couple. For sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
he's
they were
jealous.
all couples, and then two of the males had survived the attacks, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It just gotta be something mental that's going on. He
Yeah.
especially with the cipher that he
Yeah.
wrote, he just thinks it's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And saying that he has enough slaves. That is
Yeah,
that is
weird.
mentally ill.
Yeah,
Like,
that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm
It's
like,
like main character vibes.
yeah, he wishes.
Trying to catch you.
He wishes.
I know. I know there was this. I saw this on TikTok where they saw there was a killing that happened around San Francisco area, and then people thought they saw him. He was white, but then they suspected it was a black man.
Yeah, it was a black guy.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I was just like, but didn't one of the victims came out and make a sketch and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, damn, they could have caught him, but people suspected to be a black man.
Yeah.
Which is so
Yeah, come on,
fucked up.
guys.
Yeah.
We gotta
Right.
move past that.
Yeah.
We now know there's a lot of people that are white that have killed a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
I think most serial killers are white men.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know where that
That's
narrative came from, but
I know. It's
I think it's
insane.
crazy too because I don't know. Yeah, it's a game. The cipher was kind of like a grid or like a multiplication chart. It was like letter, number, whatever symbol, and it was just so weird. And
yeah.
I forgot what it said on the end. I don't know if it was actually on the cipher, but there was like a picture of a guy saying stuff. I don't know if that was just like an add-on on
Yeah.
on Google or something. But yeah.
That's scary. Because I remember, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I remember it used to be on cereal boxes, newspapers, milk. I want to look at that in the morning.
And we were 2000s babies, and it was still
it's still
it
fresh.
was very
ish.
prominent.
never found. I was always scared to go out with, because I knew he would go for couples and stuff. I was scared to be alone. I hated being a girl. He was so close, and
Yeah.
I
That's
know. Yeah. It's so scary.
Well, thank you for joining us on the Dark Diaries. We had Alyssa Trevino with the Mica Miller case. We had Charmaine Rivera with the mother-daughter case. And then Jocelyn Nettebong with the Zodiac Killer. And me, your moderator, Danielle Wright. And we'll see you next time. Bye.